I could do all I can. A truly brave man is ever serene. Nothing ruffles the equanimity of his spirit. We admire him as truly great, who, in the menacing presence of danger or death, retains his self-possession. I would rather live a short life of glory than a long one of obscurity. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Hateful to me as the gates of Hades is that man who hides one thing in his heart and speaks another. Unless you do the work, the world will never see your vision. The real and most dangerous opponents we face in life are fear, anger, confusion, doubt and despair. If we overcome those enemies who attack from within, we can attain a sure victory over any attack from without. You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. As for a limit to one's labours, I, for one, do not recognize any for a high-minded man, except that the labours themselves should lead to noble accomplishments. I will either find a way or make one. Each and every day I get back up and move forward with my fist clenched toward the battle. 7 times down, 8 times up. You don't find time to do what is important. You make time. Men worry more about what they can't see than about what they can. The gods envy us. They envy us because we're mortal, because any moment may be our last. Everything is more beautiful because we're doomed. Tomorrow's victory is today's practice. When it comes to stress, don't fight it. Turn it on itself and use it. Use it to make yourself sharper and more alert. Use it to make yourself think more and learn more. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Each mistake teaches you something new about yourself. There is no failure, remember, except in no longer trying. It is the courage to continue that counts. From one thing, know 10,000 things. Revenge is self-defeating. It will eat away at you until there is nothing left.
Greetings, folks. I threw the link down there. A little bit late. Better late than never. Yes, Sir Snafu. Greetings, sir.
Hello, I'm in the kingdom.
Why is it I can't get any of you slaves to ever go along with anything? Truth, rights, freedom, principles. You know, the cult. You know, it's not becoming of me as a cult leader to have to like beg. You know, and there's other ways of sort of convincing one to go along with the bit, Sir Snafu. Wouldn't you say?
The optics of the kingdom very intriguing, and
Optics are very high right
I
now.
changed it.
The optics are
And
very high.
you convinced us. You did. You're right in the middle of the live. We had to, the kingdoms are there.
Right, so I'm gonna need to see that reflected down there in chat, because it's important when folks come here that they observe that, oh my God, the white gorilla is actually running a cult. Let's get triggered and let's do the next few weeks and months of the awkward simulation, where we reveal how folks don't know themselves, don't know each other, don't know men and women, don't know life, don't know banking, don't know the legal lawful system, don't know consciousness and awareness purely separate from their burdens as a bodily form, right? It's always a thread with me, right? It's a thread that leads somewhere. And, because folks are so like unaware and unconscious, and even when I say what it is, they still don't get it. That's what troubles me. That's what concerns me. That's what disappoints me. Because you shouldn't, and no one should have had to even be convinced at all to be part of this. And the fact that you do concerns me, right? This might be the best bit ever in all of media, because I am the god of all media, and some folks have dropped the ball. So snafu snaps going forward. If folks are not going to conform to the edict of the kingdom, they will be chambered 5 minutes at a time. That is part of the new simulation here. Okay, I'm not interested in what folks think about me and the optics. I'm running the simulation now, right? So like it or love it, the rules are not going to change. I'm like every other content creator. I do whatever the fuck. No, I do whatever the fuck I want when I want, and then you have to decide if I'm worthy of watching and listening to and staying on board with as a community. So if I've all of a sudden become a dishonorable cult leader and I'm forcing people to do this and that, you just go hang out with Ian. We Are Awake TV. See how easy it is to distinguish how full of shit everybody is? Because like I said, I could pull my dick out at this point. You all know my heart, and so does the creator. So it really doesn't even matter what the fuck comes out of my mouth. Because even when I'm doing a bit, I'm doing a non-bit. If it's a non-bit, there's some truth in there somewhere. If it doesn't matter to you and you're not ego triggered, you trust the plan and the process, and you trust who and what I am in my heart because you've known me for long enough. So again, I'm doing the simulation. Folks are going to find out more about themselves. We all are, one way or the other in this life. And I'm not discontinuing the bit, non-bit. So 5 minutes in the chamber for everyone. OTW News, we're going to start with you. I don't care that I restreamed your channel this morning. You think you got special privileges here? You don't. Bye. 5 minutes. See how quick that was? See how easy it is? Yeah, I'm egoic, like they say. Since I practice detachment, and they say I'm egoic and I'm a cult leader, I say I move right into this. I have no feelings about any of it. I practice detachment. I tell you all to do the same thing. It's a great skill to have, So we're practicing.
Yes. King Unslaved, all blessed glory be upon thee. How are you today, sir?
Greetings, Dark Knight. How are you, sir?
Number 6, Black. Hello.
Fantastic. How are you today, Saya?
I'm doing well, Mr. Cleveland, but the members of Unslaved have disappointed me once again with their ineptness.
Sire, there are many who are not following the kingdom's rules right now, as you can see in your chat.
Yes, including you last night, Mr. Snafu.
But
right,
Mr.
Town Crier
person.
Yes, he's going to have to learn how to be into it. Mr. Cleveland, will you teach the rather chubby fellow here how to enjoy being interrupted by someone of such greatness and highness and esteem as myself? Because he doesn't.
Yes, it is not hard,
here.
sir.
Yeah, here in the Kingdom of Unslavia, you don't interrupt me. I do the interrupting. Right?
Yes,
so please,
Saya.
try not to speak while I'm interrupting. It'll make everything go better for all of us.
Does anyone besides me see the insanity?
We already know that people of my ilk are hard to deal with. And
right.
Mr. Snafu is part of those people.
Right.
You have unfolded too much.
Right. The lesser of the species has a hard time controlling its emotions. They tell me the folks from out west, the scribes tell me that is because a lot of these beings didn't have a daddy at home.
I can attest that it's the truth, sire.
Right. Let's move forward.
As me myself did not have a father.
Right. Well, my condolences to you, sir. If you had a father like mine, you might think twice. You know, its grass is always greener. Of course, I'm only half joking on that. I'm thankful and grateful for my father being there and influencing me to be what I am and also what not to be. You know, more oftentimes I find in life, most folks offer me a learning experience of what not to be or what to learn from. Right. So if you were truly non-egoic, you'd be thankful for that. You'd say, I want my son to learn how not to be a jerk off like me in whatever ways that I was. But no, you won't see it that way. So, yeah. Let's get to, we got a double dose of Watson. I'm going to front load it and back load it. So, boy, you guys are in for a treat today. Let me go over to that because I need to get motivated. Snafu Snaps needs to get motivated. And he needs to stop hating women too. He's a woman hater, He-Man woman hater, like the Little Rascals. Yeah,
I hate
Snafu's
dumb men, sire, and dumb woman. Dumb men, dumb woman. I hate them both. You're absolutely right.
All right, well then that's okay. Then that's why we're about equality. Like all the Camp Cupcakes say, oh, we're big on equality, right? Because everybody has a part to play in this. The problem is that as men, we take a leadership role, so we have to take radical accountability and responsibility when it's appropriate. We're not simping. We're not people pleasing. We're not happy wifing, happy lifing. We're being real with ourselves and each other and shooting straight and calling it right down the middle, gray area between the yin and yang, right? Male and female, black and white, and then there's a gray area. If we could touch that place, you'll watch the opportunities unfold. Whole world will open up to you. So let's go to Watson. I got to hear from him. Respect on the yard, slaves.
What do you respect? What do you respect? Do that. Be that. Too many people out here trying to be liked. Literally, you guys are trying to be liked. That's the biggest problem. I will only conduct myself in a manner that is respected. People, hey, Wes, why do you get up so early? Because I respect someone who gets up early more than somebody who sleeps in with no purpose. You get me? Hey, Wes, why do you train every day? Because I respect someone who has discipline and trains every day.
Is the video not coming up on your end?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's just black.
Hold on. Let me try this again. I don't know why that just happened, but the joys of technology.
It's good now.
What do you respect? What do you respect? Do that. Be that. Too many people out here trying to be liked. Literally, you guys are trying to be liked. That's the biggest problem. I will only conduct myself in a manner that is respected. People, hey, Wes, why do you get up so early? Because I respect someone who gets up early more than somebody who sleeps in with no purpose. You get me? Hey, Wes, why do you train every day? Because I respect someone who has discipline and trains every day more than a fat, titty-having bitch who we know in his soul hates how he looks and is too weak to change it. What? Wes, it's not all about money. I sure do respect a man who could pay the bills with these. I sure do respect a man who can pick up the tab for everybody, not be a bitch about it, splitting it 9 ways with a bunch of half-ass cupcake, fake-ass motherfuckers. You guys don't get this shit. If a man really wants to walk around and act like he knows some shit, He better have results. That's the only thing I respect in this fucking life is results. If you keep showing up to the gym, bitch, and you ain't got results, you're a fucking joke. If you keep showing up to your work or your career, whatever the fuck you do each day, and you ain't paid, motherfucker, you're a fucking joke. Chicks looking at you like you're a joke, you're a fucking joke. Everybody always says this stupid shit. Everybody always goes into that fucking stupid shit of imposter syndrome. Do you not get this, you fucking idiots? You don't have imposter syndrome. Your identity directly matches your output. You have no output. You have no results, stupid. You don't have imposter syndrome. You ain't done shit. So when you get on camera and you feel like someone who shouldn't be talking, it's because you shouldn't. Because you ain't done shit. Okay? When you know you came from the penitentiary to the penthouse and you look in your bank account and you see M's on M's on
Hype
M's
up.
on M's, and you look in the mirror and you see veins on top of veins on top of veins, motherfucker, then you just know you know two fucking things. Wes Watson knows how to stay disciplined and build some muscle, and Wes Watson knows how to monetize a platform and brand well on social media. Guess what, motherfuckers? All you guys have a lot of value that you can't see. You're just trying to solve the wrong fucking problems. I'm out here spending most of my time in a conscious state solving the most difficult problems that derail people. Waistline, wallet. And it's not like the blueprints are difficult. The blueprints to getting your waistline thin and stacking your wallet, making that motherfucker thick as fuck. These aren't difficult blueprints, but your bitch ass is difficult. Your bitch ass will fight it as much as possible. Your bitch ass doesn't fucking realize that it's your mind and it's the way you view everything that keeps you from the work. I only validate myself with the fact that I'll stack a difficult day and not bitch about it, punk. The reason I'm successful is because no matter what the fuck I was going through in life, no matter what the fuck came my way, I never missed what I had to do each day to be where I wanted to be. You have a vision. You have a vision, motherfucker. And it's telling you exactly what you want in this life. But will you fucking put the work in to get it? And will you put the work in on the days that you feel like you can't even get up? On the days you feel like you're just fucking crippled and the world's coming down on you. That shit is so fucking pussy. Who gives a fuck how you feel? But guess what? It's magic. It's fucking magic. No matter how you feel, when you go do the work, it goes away. The fucking realest thing is if you never learn to love the work, you'll never know love at all. Because you're just going into stuff that's instantly gratifying. Everybody who fucking thinks they're enjoying life or living life or seizing the day or doing all this shit they talk about, in all reality, those people who act like they're truly living life are just escaping reality through instant gratification. Unless you're building, unless you're creating, unless you're have a direct vision of exactly where you want to go, then you're compromising, bitch. Because all negative desires are simply frustrations of positive desires. Most of you guys want to be ripped, but you settle for some cheesecake because it just makes you feel good in the moment, and you know you ain't going to be ripped because you just don't think that highly of yourself. In all reality, in this life, you will have everything you believe you deserve. For some reason, Wes Watson believes he deserves everything on this earth. Why? What makes one man that way and another man not that way? It's the fucking work. The work instills the worth. And luckily, I put in so much work over those years when there was no outcome other than how you felt. There was no outcome in prison other than how you felt inside. So I chased the work for the right reason, how it makes me feel. And now, even till this day, on this video right here, I feel so free. I don't desire nothing. I don't want to be anywhere else. I don't want to be anyone else. just want to be on this video, giving you value. That's how I feel in every aspect of my purpose and my work. I'm free.
Right.
Free from desires. You guys sit there all day and just desire a more positive set of circumstances or a different situation
fucking
or a
slave.
more positive moment. You don't realize how negative that is. All we're supposed to do in this life is accept the moment, then learn to love the work, and then do the work to change it. I hope you guys fucking get this shit. And if you don't get all these words and all this fucking shit I'm saying, then just go to my motherfucking Instagram and see a dude put in work day in and day out, and then try to tell that dude he doesn't validate himself with the work over the fucking results. I only validate myself with that daily work. That's why I never miss, bitch. The only way you can ever see how a man truly feels about what he does is if there's no deviation. When there's no deviation, then that man found out directly what works for him. And in all reality, everything that you think doesn't work for you is what works for you. Because you're just trying to find a comfort zone like every other pussy ass bitch on this planet who thinks they're going to do what they want and become who they want at the same time. The only way you'll ever become who you want is by doing the shit that pushes you and tests you most. The Stoics say they pity you if you haven't faced hardship, because you'll never know what you're capable of. You'll never know what you're capable of unless you face it. So in this world, at this time, during these days, you have to self-inflict adversity to truly figure out who you are. And when you got 7 days in of perfect wake-ups and diet and a workout, and you crushed all your work, and you haven't fell victim to any of your vices, you'll be vibing so fucking high. But we'll just see if you choose to go another 7, and then another 7, and then another, until you're so far down the road, you finally figure out what this life's about. And you've transcended self and all desires to be an offering to the world of what life can be. What life can be, because you're living it to its fullest. I love you guys. I'm going to show you how to live life to the fullest, as if you're not already seeing it. From the penitentiary gates a little over 4.5 years ago to where we're at today. Dream life of my creation with your guys' help. We're going to fucking keep going to the top. I love you guys. Truly do. A lot of people kind of separate themselves from social media. I feel the most comfortable with you guys. The most comfortable here. I don't know if I fit in that much in the real world. But right here, this is law of attraction. We're all here because we all feel the same way. Fucking love you guys. Genuinely from my heart. You guys have done more for me than anybody I know by being there for me and supporting me through my tough times and the fucking good ones. Because people self-sabotage during times of celebration, success, and during issues, problems, and adversity. I'm going to be there for you guys because you were there for me. Love you guys. Let's go!
Fucking go! Hello?
Oh, what the fuck was that?
Your thoughts? No, Lori sent an email.
Oh.
You know, because when like women are really inspired by you and love you, they'll like do anything for you, especially like just want to see you talk with Wes Watson. So Lori reached out to me and she said, should I write to Wes Watson? I said, you know, I trust you. You seem pretty competent to me. So go ahead and, you know, she's like, oh, what about this? I said, listen, I trust you. Just go ahead and contact him. Tell him what you think and feel, what you'd like to see. And we'll see what happens. You know, if we have a conversation, it'll be interesting. If we don't, it'll be interesting. So, you know, I'm not worried about it one way or the other. Let me put a link down. Your thoughts, Expert Pound, before we move through the breaking slavery news?
I think it would be an interesting conversation that you two would have, because I could already see where it's going to go. He's going to get on you about how you're fat, and you're going to get on him on how he's still a slave.
Right, and who's going to win that battle?
And I'll be honest
Who's
with
going to win
you.
that argument?
And to be honest with you, I bet you he's watching, and I mean, they watch.
You think he's watching, waiting, and hating? No, not Wes. He wouldn't do that.
Oh no, but he definitely knows about you, and you streaming his clips, and others have reached out. Like, yeah, he's like any other creator, so he knows who's talking about him, who's playing his videos. He knows,
Well, again, we're either united in truth or not. I'm not a star fucker name dropper. So I'm not interested in him as Wes Watson. I'm interested in him as a man. I know that didn't sound right. I'll roll with it. I'm interested in him as a man, right?
Definitely be a great conversation, you and him. That definitely would be interesting.
Yeah. I'm interested in everybody and what they're really about. The problem is within 5 to 10 minutes, I find out what they're really about, and I'm not impressed. Okay, and I have a right to feel that way. I think you're supposed to feel that way. That's where true respect and honorability comes from. The fuck are you really about? What are your core values? Getting ripped and having money and pussy? That doesn't work. So I get it. You got a process that works for you, and it's based in self-talk, right? Law of attraction. Yeah, that makes sense. But what are we, shooting for here ultimately? Beyond the self-actualization, realization in the world, what is the otherworldly metaphysical principle that we're incorporating? What are we shooting for here? So I say it's freedom. You can't hold it, you can't touch it, you can't taste it, but we all know it. We're born with it inside of us, and very few of us, if any of us, have ever really lived it. So that's what's important to me. I would think that would be important to everybody, especially with everything we've seen over the past few years, especially. So any comments? We have an agent of chaos here. The exiled homunculi moat creature.
How do we do?
I don't know, sir. How do we do?
Exactly.
Moat creature, you're still not willing to comply and take on the proper enumeration as you were directed to do so?
I was under the impression that was a one-day event.
No, the event's continuing.
I didn't get the memo.
You just got it.
You didn't read the packet?
I didn't read the packet. I didn't read the fine print. I lost my...
All right, you're going to the back. Thank you, Moat creature. It's barely intelligible. I can barely even understand what he's saying. I almost have to bring in a translator or scribe and some kind of a piece of technology to decipher the Moat creature's grumblings. So, no, Moat creature, you didn't need a memo. You're not special. I don't send out memos to anyone. And if you didn't get it, which I presume you did because I talked about it last night, you're here now. You got the memo now. So change the damn name in chat, or I don't want to see and know from you, because I know who everyone is already down there, and I don't need to see the goofy name because I'm not Paulie Boy, right? This goes beyond that. Who really are you, and what the fuck do you identify with? So all you folks who are bodily identified, ego identified, name identified, that have no real purpose and understanding of who you are beyond a form, you are always the ones who never want to get with the program. So thank you for identifying yourselves for me. All right. The ones who really want to learn about themselves, really want to have fun, really want to play with the bit and their personality and the whole thing, they just get in line. Right. See, these are some problematic hoes. These, good men and women, 1 second. Good men and women who have a sense of humor about life, they don't have this problem. Broken hoes who don't know who and what they are, who never had a mommy and daddy, they don't do well with any kind of leadership or authority. They just can't get right. Even when you should want to, right? So you'll be in someone's face, and it doesn't matter where you are, at jail, at the military, wherever, and someone will be like me with kind of my energy and be going, "Can you make your bed, you piece of fucking trash?" You're like, "Oh, I don't want to. I'm not going to make my bed." And it's like, damn well on some level, the person's trying to look out for you and teach you how to be a fucking man, but you don't want it. So you want to fucking buck up and argue and not get with the program. So they don't respect you. It's that simple. And I'm not saying that I get up every day and necessarily make my fucking bed. I'm just giving you an example. You got nothing else to do in jail. There's no reason you can't take an extra 5 minutes and make the damn bed. It just says a lot about who we are. You could say that, like, you know, we got a lot of shit to do out here. We're real busy, so there's a reason. It's more bullshit. But if you're in jail and you got nothing else to do, there's no reason you can't make the damn bed because you got nothing else to do. You must be a lazy, procrastinating motherfucker who accepts less for yourself and everyone else. And you have no habits for success. You're probably a slovenly slave. Okay? So again, you know, places like jail will introduce you to who you really are and who you may become if you would apply your will and understanding and a little bit of fucking common sense. Maybe even just take suggestions sometimes by folks who are not trying to harm you or take anything from you. Maybe they're trying to help you, work with you, create an experience. I don't know. So, you know, until folks can really see who and what they are, who and what I am, I think we just ban everybody for 5 minutes at a time down in chat. So let me look over it here. No despair, Bear. You got to go. And please, folks, I know some of you have donated. Donations have dwindled down again over the past 2 days because I started blocking people. I get it. But that's just another test for me and everyone else, right? What are we really here for? Why do you really contribute? What is the value of getting here? What's the value I'm giving? You know, see how I like to play the games I like to play? So I test myself. I talk myself out of fiat and pussy. I've told you that. I talk myself. While they try to talk themselves into it, I regularly talk myself out of it because, you know, I can't get out of being who and what I am. I can't get out of my own way, right? Which is a good thing in my case. Me not being able to get out of my own way. That's how I perceive it. Go ahead, Mr. Wizard.
Well, and like I told you a long time ago, brother, there are times where you have to block. They do this even in the news. Every journalist has to have a reason to block in order to get his story out. Because if you've got some agent of chaos coming around that's destroying the story before it gets out, we go back to the premise that you're not supposed to listen to the messenger, but the message. This is the violation of another person's right to know and your own freedom of expression. So there are times where you have to block that because somebody else is fettering your right to freedom of expression and everybody else's right to know.
Yeah, this is not one of those times. This is one of those times where I just want to play games, shake everyone up, prove a whole bunch of points, and then have fun while I'm doing it.
And that's what you're doing is you're experimenting with it on your platform, finding out where that regulatory point is for you. Again, I portray it as the expression of the right to express and everybody else's right of the freedom or the right to know. And that's my premise. And again, because this is a metaversal platform that doesn't always hold true. But if you're going to sit here and profess like OTW does, that he doesn't censor, and then censor because I bring in a different language.
The whistling language, sir.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm saying it's language still. The whistling. He made a point. Whistling is still not free speech. Off speech.
Oh, really? It's not?
Whistle while you work.
Excuse me? You better listen to your law of nations when they start sounding that whistle as Mayday, 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 SOS. It is the highest form of communication.
Aren't we supposed to hear a trumpet, Wizard, in the end?
Even the Bible says you shall hear the trumpets. Not
hey,
a
Wizard, so now, like folks who like been sucking my dick since day one, this is how I get them every time. Like I flush out. Like your masters do this to you all the time, whether you know it or not. This is like just art of war kind of stuff. I flush out all the dumb slaves who really are undercover haters and don't show it until something goes wrong. But because nothing ever really goes wrong between me and them, they never show it. So then I do something like this. They start piping up. They start rumbling down there. I start to see it. Then I go right at them. Then they show themselves. So Bad Barney's another one. There's a bunch of them. They've been around here since day one. Now they're going to come down there. Oh, Paulie's got no more value. His value's dwindling. That's why he's doing this. You know, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. They're not going to get out of their own way.
The grandparents are in the kingdom as well, sir.
And somebody else is down in the comments saying that it's literally, and this is what I've said before, if he's so disingenuous, how could you pose that he's so serious that he's creating a cult, particularly when he says he's not?
But sir,
there's no point. No, quiet, snap. There's no point. There's no point in telling anyone the truth because folks don't seek truth in this life. They seek comfort. So since they're more comfortable being fooled than being convinced they've been fooled, right? I will then go the other way and say, you're right, I'm doing a cult now. And in order to be here, you got to do certain things. Careful what you wish for.
And when I say fuck you, I'm just honestly, officer, I'm just trying to help that sheep through the fucking fence. Quit sitting on it.
The
I
kingdom
like
is
to have
running amok.
fun. I like to have fun and trigger and then reveal and give everyone the opportunity to go past the positive, negative, push, pull that runs their life into a space of neutrality and then choose their experience.
Well, Sir Paul, that brings us an important question. The kingdom is running amok. What are you going to do, sir?
There's
You got
nothing to
granny
be done,
panties and
Snafu.
babies.
There's nothing to be done. There's nothing to
The
be
kingdom
done.
is amok.
This is a Talcottian philosophy. Do nothing and nothing is left undone.
The
What will
slaves
happen,
will outdo themselves.
right?
Not
What will,
a worry.
thank you, Dark Knight. What will happen is the folks who cannot conform will be chambered 5 minutes at a time. Hard hat, you know what? Hard hat gets an exemption, Wizard, or how do we? We're gonna have to get someone to help Hard Hat with the name change. He can't be the only one to get an exemption. And I'm sure he wants to be part of it, but I don't think his technology will allow. So we're at an impasse with that on technicalities. And if anyone else thinks they're going to use that excuse here on out, it's not going to happen. So don't try it. Just like at school, once one slave pipes up and says, I got a valid excuse, and they go, okay, Timmy, 5 more want to do that. We're not doing that because I know the power games. So this is a simulation. It's an experience. It's for me first, like most things here, including me standing for rights, freedom, and principles that nobody else gives a fuck about, it would seem. And when I say nobody else, I mean very few. So those are the few who matter to me. Those are the folks who are supposed to matter ultimately, because it's not about liking and being liked. We all may like and not like each other at some times. We got to know that each other stands for something. So, I'm running a cult now. Very pragmatic cult.
I love my mom and dad. Despite the fact that we have those differences, I love my mom and dad. They did a lot of things for me in my life. But I don't like them, not one bit. Now that I know the truth, no, I don't like them one bit. Now I know why we never got along. I know why I was kicked out when I was 15 after they thought they were going to bring me into their family and subject me to the things that I never believed in my life. And then when I was 50 years old, they proved it. And I just couldn't believe I was so dumbfounded and indoctrinated through all of it that I honestly believed they loved me. They didn't. They don't. There's a distinct difference. They love their life and they try to get me to conform to it because they believe the police are their authority. Otherwise, they'd have never told me that they were mine. That's just stupid. I don't believe the fiction bullshit anymore. You want to come to me with the reality of what we are in spirit, then I'll listen. But if you're going to come at me as a man, you better think twice. I yield.
Wow. Let me see here. I'm going over the whoa. Lady Angie. No. Isn't that's not that's Savannah. No, that's not the same one. Lady Angie, that doesn't work, ma'am. See, there's always got to be certain ones. And this is, you could tell by looking at that woman, she probably gets whatever she wants in life. Just the look about her. Not going to happen here. This is the ego checker. I'm the great ego checking gorilla. So you're going to have to conform, Lady Angie. I love you. But no favoritism. We're not simping. We're not big simping over here. Snafu wouldn't allow it. So you can't expect, if I tell him he's got to do something and then he sees the value himself and wants to be part of the bit and he'll do it, I can't big simp on you because then he'll do his MGTOW deal. He'll go his own way, and he'll hate me. So we have to play fair games. When we play the games, we have to play fair. So again, no one says anyone has to type here either. I know that's a wild idea. Folks don't realize there are times where I'm just busy a lot and folks think I'm around. I'm not around. There's times where I'm around watching and I don't type. I just watch and listen and then I leave. Watch and listen, leave. Watch and listen, leave. I know everyone thinks I'm egoic and always have something to say. A lot of times I'll type one message after the other, like a lot of the slaves. I believe I have something to say in those moments. So it depends on really how I'm feeling, I guess, or what I'm trying to achieve or the presentment going on. I'll kind of adapt. But you might want to get better in life at just observing and listening, and then leaving and going living your own fucking life. You don't have to type. I know I've, created because what you put out, you get back. And certain folks down there are attracted to me because of who and what I am and how I present. See, if I didn't present with all the comedy and eccentricities and weirdness and bits and simulations, I wouldn't have such an interesting chat area. So if you want to be part of the benefits and privileges I have created here or help to facilitate, you should be more thankful and grateful of that. If not, you could just go to We Are Awake TV and type down there. They have such an interesting chat area, right? Because their broadcaster and the head of that organization, if you want to call it that, is so interesting. So he's actually running a cult. Horrible chat area. You know, I have no organization here except for just me being me, putting that out, watching what comes back. And even that's way better than the alternative out there on both ends. The chat area and me is what I'm seeing. I know that's egoic. So I'm doing a cult, even though I'm not, while they're doing it and saying I'm doing it. So now I'm doing it. Okay. If you can bring up Talcott and let him run a whole broadcast and take it seriously, well, the sky's the limit on what I'm going to get into, because this is an art form, right? It's on some level. It's all a big fucking game and show. These motherfuckers don't show anything how they live, and it doesn't matter to them. So since I do, and I'm the realest motherfucker, according to me with the ego, I'm going to do whatever I want and play games and do simulations and have fun and test myself and everyone else. That's where the power and value is in life for me and everyone I experience with. If not, they're not there anymore. Bye.
And two things. You queried earlier about Hard Hat, and I was going to tell you that, you know, that's up to you. But upon reconsideration, there's a comment that reminded me in the chat that he's got phone issues. So maybe give him a short span of time to correct his phone. But until then, alleviation is probably appreciated.
Yeah, or he's just going to have to come up and never type again. See, there's solutions to everything. If you can control yourself, you don't need to type. You know, I've never really seen you type anything that was that great. I'm just saying. And we'd rather see you smile, you know, even just hard happy and up here, not saying anything for 2 hours and once in a while just leaning in and laughing and giggling. That's all I need.
Yeah.
That nurtures my soul. That inspires me, right? So just play your fucking role, even if it's a non-role. Just be you. Sit there, listen, like I said, and laugh and giggle like Cleveland. That's great. Works for me.
Yep. Yeah, I love it. And I've mentioned it many times. I think the man's got one of the greatest smiles, and it really lightens my day up every time I see it. So,
right. And I mean, you know, he's like hunky, right? He's got that whole deal. So I see the women of Unslaved. They don't want to insult me, but they want to fuck him. Okay. Yeah. So that's fine. Come on up here and just sit there and let the women have their eye candy, because of course I'm morbidly obese. I don't play the ego game. See, they're going to look at you and then they're going to want, let's get past that. I don't want to insult the hard hat, because, you know, sometimes he's got a little bit of a caveman vibe and women find that very unattractive, at least the intelligent ones. But, you know, he'll have his place in the kingdom. Other women like him who are like cave women.
Yeah, and there was something that you said last night on your channel that sort of resonated with me when you said something about stripping away your identity and just using the numbers and sort of playing with your personality. I sort of did that a little bit in the beginning of the show, you know, just kind of putting a little different energy out there in regards to myself. It's something I don't usually do.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I did, so I must have. I just want to, before my ADD, Hard Hat, he goes, come on. The funny thing about Hard Hat is, like, something about his presentment, just, you know, the offhanded kind of judgment we do is that, like, he's a dumb guy or a caveman. But the more that you speak to him, you realize he's pretty sensible. He's pretty reasonable, and he kind of gets it, usually. Like, I've never really seen anywhere where I have to explain anything to him. Some of these other kind of esoteric concepts, because he's kind of an old school guy, right? So you got to show it to him. But if you show it to him, he's kind of there. So, again, you know, I can play with his well, that didn't sound right. I can play with his character up here, you know, and it's fun, right? We can make fun of ourselves and each other. We're players. This vessel is on a stage, and it's not who and what we really are, unless you feel that it is, in which case you're bodily identified, ego identified, name identified, and you'll never want to be part of this bit that I'm doing. The simulation, because you think there's going to be lasting consequences. Oh no, what's going to happen to myself and my identity if I go along with this? Am I going to lose myself? Freedom grower. You guys like reveal yourselves every time that you don't know yourselves, and you don't even get how easy it is for me to do it. I'm like the Buddha person they talk about, who you come to for some reason and you don't know, but I know, and then I start doing this with you. And I go, you just did it again and again and again and again. And that's all rooted to this. And if you don't change that, you're going to lose everything about yourself and everything you have because you don't know who you are and where your power comes from.
Yeah. And the second part was when it comes to Jack, if he ever comes back up on panel again, I think it would be a requirement that he take upon the moniker of Daddy's Whore or something like that. Don't ever let him have that fucking ego of Jack again. You want to be on his panel? You're already proving yourself to be Daddy's Whore. You got to take that or fuck you.
Well, Talcott's already decided that he's going to control himself as much as possible and focus on his possibility of being successful and famous and rich and hang around with the likes of Tony Robbins, but this time like being equal. I know the whole thing, right? So because he went to starfuck him and stalk him, and then when he went to go meet him, the guy probably just fucking blew right by him because he saw that he had no fucking get up and go and no wherewithal. So he probably gave him a good word like I have many times and then went on with his life. But Talcott's got something to prove. He wants to come back and say, see, I told you I was going somewhere, like he does with everyone, you know, and look at me now. I'm here, Tony, and I've arrived. I don't want to play that game with you, right? So, you know, he's going to try as much as he can to live off that false power with the Moose because they got a thing going now. Using each other, false power, staying focused on their nonsense and never getting anywhere. And they can't figure out why they identify with each other. They're perfect for each other, Moose and Talcott, because they have no real values. They stand for nothing. They pipe up only to be angry and hateful. Most of the time, they're passive aggressive. They feign a loving energy, but they're manipulative and narcissistic. And they don't get respect from women and children. Okay, so they're one for one all the way down the line every single time. It's the same personality. Water seeks its own level, and it will find its level. That's why they never identify with me, because I'm none of those things. I don't get their results. So they never quite feel at home with me. They feel at home with each other, even when they're bullshitting each other themselves, using each other and themselves.
I must say, for all those running amok in the kingdom, the best cult to be in is the one that is telling you to register and line up, because then you know. It's the ones that don't tell you the truth about the cultness that you worry, the kingdom. So all you running amok, register.
Right.
Yeah, you got to register for safety, man. You don't want somebody running into you and fucking you up.
Well, it's real simple. No one else out there, I assume the majority of these folks had no problem registering, licensing all their rights away, all their freedoms away to a bunch of criminals. Ooh. So as the man says, why you can't be part of a simulation on a metaverse where you register for something you say you know is true or resonate with? Isn't that the truest cult, non-cult there could be? Where you give up your individual identity like we all have to serve a higher purpose and force? Right, I've done that already. So we can play the whole Paulie Unslaved game. It means nothing to me. Okay, I'll burn that name and create another one, and it'll mean nothing to me again, because a name is not who and what you are. So when you get out of your fucking ego and imagination, all of you folks, and your false identities and presentments, you'll grow and you'll learn and you'll expand and you'll see self and self, and you'll have cosmic consciousness. Okay,
I think
so that's the best cult, non-cult you're going to get, because you're already in a cult. Half your family already killed themselves in certain ways, right, and gave up all their rights and had no problem registering and taking on a number. But here, we're not going to stand for it, right? Yeah, save it or go that way, because I see the hypocrisy and bullshit game. Stand the way you do here with someone you say you respect, who you want to be next to and with, right? Stand that way with the people who actually should be stood against, not me.
Sir Paul, Bad Barney, would you allow them to come into the kingdom to sit before you with counsel? Because I don't think they are not understanding. They are not understanding.
Open invitation constantly. He's a punk ass coward. Yeah. Come on up, or I'm going to keep blocking you, because I never really liked a lot of these people anyway. And why should I pretend to or not speak about it? Because I might get benefits and privileges. No one would respect me as a cult leader or king if I did that.
Such a gracious leader and squires and kingdom this is. Bad Barney, I encourage you to come up into the kingdom's council and talk to the people.
Yeah, I'm the first cult leader where everyone, if they realized what was going on, would actually beg me to be their cult leader, because something might actually get done. Wow, what a concept. So that's true leadership. It's not cult leadership because I'm not manipulating, doing coercion, duress, and there's really no consequence to not doing what I want, except you get to enjoy slavery. Great.
Bad Barney,
Please having a daddy, right? So like I'm such a cult non-cult. I'm everybody's daddy inherently because of how I live. That's how it's supposed to be. It's called the natural order of things, right? These folks will call it an alpha male. I don't say that. I don't feel that. I recognize I am that. I am that am has to be that. It's above all forms and worldly functions. So it would have to be the most powerful force in the room most times.
I just wanted to say what Rob Cleveland said was 100% right. What you said yesterday about, dropping your name because that's not who you are. And that's really good. If you could just drop who you think you are, you got a next step forward of knowing who you are.
That's why a lot of folks on the spiritual journey will change their name because their name is attached to an identity and a likeness that they want to change and work with. They don't want to be bound and latched by a concept. They want to be fluid and free and dynamic and learn about themselves to have more power and inspiration and understanding and love and co-creation.
Correct.
Sir Heart of Hats has entered the Kingdom Chamber, sir. Sir Heart of Hats is here, the Kingdom Chambers.
What's going on, Hot Hat?
Well, I got to get back to work here in about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and then I'm going to be done in a couple hours. I'm going to go get a new phone today. I wear everything out till the end, right? My phones, my clothes. I don't dress, you know what I mean? Except my underwear and socks. They're always good.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
But so anyway, I'm going to go because I'm having problems with my work. My fucking guys I'm with, they can't text me. I can't plug addresses in the phone. So anyway, yeah, it's cool. I got the time this afternoon. I'll get her done. Hopefully this evening I'll be good.
Thank you, sir. It's good seeing you. How are you, John?
I'm well, Paul. How are you? Everyone, Keith, how you doing?
Another day at the office, sir.
How you doing, John?
I'm doing well, thank you. My last day driving with plates on my car. So,
whoa, good for you.
And you're gonna blame me for all this when it goes.
No, it's got nothing to do with you. I mean, I don't know if you're the first one that informed me about that or not, but yeah, you contributed to my knowing. That's all you've done. It's my decision. I don't blame anybody for anything I do. It's my decision.
You can send Paul the tickets.
John, have you registered with the Kingdom?
Meaning, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
The Kingdom, have you not been listening to our lords and squires, and have you not registered with the Kingdom? That's why Mr. Heart of Hats, the third or whatever, is here.
Yeah, there's an edict that went forth because the narrative kept going that I'm running a cult. And then I'm egotistical, so I went fully into it to trigger everyone again, and it's working.
I always knew that.
Yeah, in order to be here now, you're gonna have to conform, to the program as you see down there. And even this person, that's a problem. See, they want to just hang on. They can't let go. It's just like that death. Death is part of life. Learn how to live. You must learn how to die. And once they ready to die, they could just never let go and surrender. It's like when they take that fucking trip, whatever they take, they get all that anxiety and fear, what's going to happen, and can't let go. So no cult member. We know that you're the gypsy person, which gypsy is a non-identity anyway, a rather lowly identity. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to spin this here because and they're going to say it's simping. It might be light simping because you are rather physically attractive, and it just kind of, it's one of our weaknesses, you siren devil. So I'm going to spin this to save you some time here. I see what's going on. Cult member 0420 is a gypsy person. That is her title. So she's the resident gypsy woman, and we use her for various events like pickpocketing the Talcadian kingdom, snatching resources to reclaim for God's country and land, of course, and various servicing activities. The gypsy women are good with their hands, let's say. And of course, I'm talking about things like tarot card readings. Yes, folks, get your mind out of the gutter. I'm also talking about other things indirectly, but we won't get into it. Okay. My mind was wandering a little bit when I look at her. I want to feel her hands on me. Okay. And I'm just going to say it like that. Now, John, you have an option here. You can take, you see, she's one who it's tough because, you know, she's physically attractive, but she can't take direction. She's not teachable because this was really simple. It's like read the directions, name first. She's the one who doesn't put her name up top, loses 5 points on every test. So everyone else down there has the format. Cult member, number, sign, and then the number. and then if you're feeling frisky, you get to put your position in the Unslaved kingdom. So
although the gynecologists and anthropologists are taken, you're the anthropologist and the gyno's down there somewhere. The kingdom has many jobs. I think just remember.
There's builders, there's farmers, there's service wenches. Look at this person.
Regular members.
There's an anthropologist, a cult anthropologist. There's the group orgy leader at this point. Talcott was given the role of head camp counselor because we're going to have festivities.
No.
Right? Like remember field day and flag day back at school. You have like various events. Your family will be allowed for one day to come down to the cult to visit you, but we're going to keep it brief. You get what I'm saying? With the
Paul,
interaction. Please, because when your family comes, I don't want to have to embarrass you like this in front of them. But just keep it brief between you and them. Not much is allowed to get out about what goes on. So, you know, but for field day, for family day, for the events, you need your color. And then there's the title of camp counselor, which I offered to Jack Talcott, but he's interested in starting his own cult, so he doesn't want the position. But your thoughts?
I just want Jack to be the bathroom attendant. That's all. Let him be the bathroom attendant.
Right. You know what? That is an idea. He has a towel over his arm.
Yep.
He's got various supplies.
Like
the old school, the old school bathroom attendants that had different. Yeah, I like
soap,
that.
A little soap, maybe one.
Hey, brother, can I provide you with an interesting afternoon scent? He's got like some colognes.
And maybe some cushion toilet paper.
Right.
Some brown nose optics. Brown nosing optics.
Yeah. Optics
So,
are high.
Mr. John, have you submitted to the kingdom? Are you registering?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about, sir.
He just explained it to you, sir. Are you trying to be a jester here?
Can you see the live chat, John? You see the live chat with all the new folks who've always been here, but have now changed their name on YouTube. So now they're cult member number 3. We have a woman there who is our Fox. That's why it says cult member Fox number 333. She runs around the kingdom naked around the forest area, and she wears a tail inserted in her rectum. She's one of these furry people, right? So her name is, hold on, let me get the name here again.
I don't mean to interrupt, Paul, but I'm going through one of them bad signal days here, so I'm just going to drop for now. I'll try to get back in a little bit.
All right, I think John's like put off by this. He's confused and afraid, so he's going to run he's going to run and blame it on the signal. He's not used to it. Yeah, like what this all means, what it is.
What all means? I mean, I need a topic here.
Yeah, there you go. There's the cult member Fox. There it is.
The topic is are you submitting to the kingdom, John? It's very simple. I see you avoiding the question of submitting to the kingdom, of being part of the kingdom.
You have to change your handle.
What kingdom are you referring to?
This nigga looks so befuddled.
Are you insulting are you insulting the squires and the lords and my goodness.
Oh, you talking about you guys?
You're an insult to the kingdom, to the leaders.
Man, my cheeks are tired after I'm done.
You ever shut up, Snafu? Jesus fucking Christ, you're worse than me.
Dumbass! No.
Okay, my signal's real bad. I'm gonna drop out and try and come back.
Man, my cheeks are tired after I'm done.
Talcott there testifying that he's gotten his cheeks clapped before and that they're tired after.
He had this.
Talcott, that's not natural, okay? I know there's a G spot up in there, but it's not natural. So stay away from that behavior. You know, I know what happened to the hard hat on accident, right? He just happened to be at a gay club and they drugged him, and next thing you know, he got his cheeks clapped, but he wasn't really looking for that. He wasn't looking for that to happen. It just kind of happened. So it's different with him, right? You're like, you were looking for it. You know, his was an accident. You went looking.
Completely different.
That's unnatural. So, all right, let's get back to the breaking slave news. We got to inform these slaves of their slavery and what's going on. It's important for them to stay abreast. Trump is accusing the Biden crime family of influence peddling and corruption. You don't think?
That the 51 intelligence officials who claimed Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was Russian disinformation were not only lying, they were coordinated by the Biden campaign itself. This was corruption at the highest level, and it was a hoax perpetrated by Biden, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, and partisan intelligence officials to cover up the truth about the Biden crime family's grotesque influence peddling and corruption. Joe Biden stood in front of the world on the debate stage, you remember that, and lied about the biggest scandal in American history. There has never been a scandal like this one. What Congressman James Comer and Jim Jordan have revealed about the Biden crime family would be Watergate times 10 if this news was revealed just 10 years ago. Our fake news media is corrupt at a level like never seen before. There has never been anything like it. If this kind of information came out in the past, writers would be getting Pulitzer Prizes when Pulitzer Prize meant something. It doesn't mean very much anymore. Yes, our media is totally corrupt.
Totally corrupt, Robert Singer. Fake news.
You know, the funny thing about this is people really paid attention and they look at that court they're holding him in with that gold fringe flag. Now, what I want to ask everybody, with the gold fringe flag, it's denoting martial law. Is there an active war on this land?
Is there a state of emergency still in effect?
Not for the people. It's all for the commercial system. So again,
Gotcha.
is there truly martial law on this land if there's no war on this land? It's all commercial, every last bit of it. But it's under operation and administration of the military.
The industrial complex.
Yep.
I'm gonna just kind of mute out my cam and shit for a bit. I'm going down in the basement to work, but I actually just watched about 3 hours of this video of this guy that talked 10 years back about that. And USA's been under, he went over it, and per each fucking thing since, I forget what he said, since the Second World War. And they keep writing it in, and basically, as citizens, he went into it as citizens. You're fucked. You got, because of that shit, man. It's a fucking farce.
This is what I heard.
Sound like a sob set. Sob set. Sorry, I heard something about.
Yeah, AI was listening real close too, wasn't it?
Yeah. I heard something about government corruption. I heard something about us all being slaves, and like maybe you thinking or feeling something about freedom and what you think sovereignty is, and sounds a lot like a sob set to me. Can't beat them, join them. That's what I'm learning in this world. That's how you get along.
Yep.
Right. So now I'm just going to be just like everyone else. That's how I'm going to get by for the rest of my life. My daddy told me to. I'm starting to listen. So I started a cult, and now I made it part of the government. Right. I created an entity. It's officially a cult. Filled it out with the tax people. So they get a third of all contributions, and it's all good citizenry, like everyone else likes to do. It's great. This is a new culture that I've started, and folks just love culture, and they love getting entities, and they love having numbers, and they love following policy and procedure and being led, even to their own detriment. So I'm like the greatest cult ever because I don't even lead you to do anything bad or wrong to yourself or anyone else. You should be happy to be part of this cult. Hashtag best cult ever. Hashtag trust me. That's what I'm going with. So the cult orgy group leaders here. Greetings, sir. Always good to see you. See, he's very suave and debonair, that man. That's like the most interesting man in Unslaved. He drinks Dos Equis.
What's he doing? Rearranging his bedroom, or he's moving out?
I don't always lead group orgies, but when I do, I drink Dos Equis. Leslie Fortier just pledged to me. She's pledging. Yes, Neil, Leslie, and pledge before me. 5 pieces of 4-ply. Thank you, ma'am. The grifter person putting forth contributions. 12 pieces of 4-ply. At this rate, I'll be lucky to do minimum wage today. And that's okay. That's okay. And this is why, again, I support minimum wage being $45. Forget if it's going to bankrupt the community and the economy even more than it already is and put us deeper in debt. I know my worth. Okay? So much like Ian and everyone else, when I go to work at Starbucks or come here, I expect $45 an hour minimum wage. Thank you. And I expect our best and brightest people with all the power to get that done for me right now. I'm going to vote on that. All right. So what do you got, fellas? You got anything? Because I'm going to move over to like some horrifying, it's in quotes. I love the horrifying, in quotes, allegations of child trafficking and genocide. Oh, that was the quote. Like, we don't actually feel horrified. We're just quoted as that's what you're supposed to feel. That would be a realm of inauthentic corporate males. And I'm constantly doing that to mock them. And then that's another thing they say, why does he always do that? Like in thumbnail quotes and stuff. I put certain things in quotes because that's them. When you see the quote sometimes, that's them. So, yeah, horrifying because we don't actually feel, for children and women. Back to what I was talking about earlier, we don't actually have a heart-based care. We practice cremation of care, so we don't really connect to life in general, including women and children. So we're supposed to feel horrified, but we're going to now read off the teleprompter how they're shipping children worldwide. Got it. So, and then they'll say, Paulie doesn't really care. While that's like one of the whole reasons I'm inspired and show up is women and children. That's what's supposed to inspire you as a man on some level in this world. It's supposed to kind of get you going one way or the other. Right? We're back to fuck or fight. Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight with the women and children or fight for them? Right? And a lot of you just want to fuck the women and children out of their destiny and future with your generational cycles of sickness. So yeah, let's go over to some fucking horrifying, in quotes, child trafficking allegations. Yeah, as if we didn't know all that, right? This is so laughable. And honestly, this is just more distraction therapy again, because oh my God, the truth's coming out. QA and his white hats. No, you don't care. They put it right in your face. Biden gets right up there on the stage in your face and sniffs on everybody. And it becomes a big fucking joke to everybody. And it's not a joke to me, okay? It's not a fucking joke to me. And that's why you all don't get it. Because you think everything that we joke about that's a meme is actually funny and cute. We're making light of it because it's very sick and twisted and something should be done. But we're in a world of fucking cowards who won't even stand for their own damn rights, let alone anyone else's. Wonder why we're enslaved. They sit right there and send their own children over to a demon to be played with. And then you see some of them when the demon gets close, they get uncomfortable and they push it away. They push the child away. They block them because they, even though they want to suck up to get status and power and worldly gain, like all the other slaves I yell at when they come here, because they're the same being, some of them just can't bear it, right? Even though that ego wants that power and resource and status, their natural beingness says, no, don't let Joey get near the child. Just keep him away. So we've seen all those videos. I know body language. I know power dynamics. I know it all for me because I know myself. So it's not hard to look at folks and see what they're up to, especially a demon like that. It oozes through them. Okay, let's get to it because I'll keep rambling.
The executive director of the Texas Public Policy Foundation. He joins us now. Robert, how can any member of the Biden administration who is responsible for this horrific border policy, who may themselves also be a parent, how can that person sleep at night knowing this is being done to children?
Good morning. It's horrifying. 150,000 minor illegal immigrant children that have disappeared into this country into what is a modern slavery ring being facilitated by the Biden administration's trafficking of these children across the country to individuals, as your article mentioned, who some are criminals, and nobody knows what's happening to these children. It's the Biden administration. Look, it's the co-chair of the Biden campaign, Texas Congresswoman Veronica Escobar, who represents El Paso, that may want to call home and inquire as to what's happening in her district with these migrant children that are being literally sold into slavery and human trafficking across the United States.
You know, the video we were just watching there at the edge of that water, I believe that was a 1.5 or 2-year-old that was dropped off at the edge of that water right there circled, and a border patrol.
You know why this is all really fucking pathetic? Because these people all don't even really seem to care. They're just doing this so they can back Trump and promote him again so you'll all believe in him. Okay? They don't talk this shit the rest of the year and the rest of the decade. They pull this shit out at certain times to show the slaves a piece of reality we all know is there that we don't want to look at. So you think something's really going to get done. And you're going to put your daddy back in there to do it. So they don't really give a fuck. Just more bait and switch. Oh, the children, they're being trafficked. Yeah, we know. It's a demonic beast system. They're putting them on drugs. They've been beating them forever, putting them on drugs, doing weird sexual behaviors with them, and all the rest of it, indoctrinating them, abusing them verbally. Yeah. So it's a fucking demonic, death cult worshiping, trauma-based mind and heart control cult. Sure. In this fucking arena by and large. So, when you really get it and you really understand how far and wide it is and how deep it goes in the genetic of who and what we are and how clear it is intergenerationally and systemically, you'll start to realize you have no way out with these people. They're taking you deeper in. Okay. And that's fine. That's where we need to go. That's where the consciousness and awareness is found. More triggers, more awareness, more suffering. Chosen. And then we step out of their game and their simulation and we go within ourselves and we reunite with the true care and true love and purpose and meaning. And then we bring that back forth. And that's all there is to do, is just bring that forth over and over again and be that and live that. Everything else is games of the world and it's not going to solve anything. You're not going to overwrite the universe and do it better. You're not going to overwrite natural law and natural energy exchange and natural understanding and knowledge of self and do it better. If you think you can, you're a fucking fool. If you think you can be part of a group consciousness event that's going to change the world, you're a fucking fool. Change yourself, change the world. How simple, how difficult.
Agent, thank God, runs to save that little child. So it's not only dangerous when they get here, but it's dangerous getting here. And I think that really speaks volume. Did you see the cartel member just run off? So when you see stuff like this, I mean, controversy just keeps piling up on this administration. And, regardless of the timing, no timing is good when you see stuff like this.
What does this mean? I don't know what this means. This is such a generalized statement. So what do we do, P? We're all kept enslaved. Nobody kept you enslaved. Who kept me enslaved? Who keeps me enslaved except me and my thoughts, emotions, actions, and fears I won't go past? How exactly does that work? Your fear keeps you enslaved in all areas of your life. How would I know? I look into myself. So don't tell me about trying. This isn't a judgment of how much you've tried and not tried in your life. I don't know you. I don't know what you've done and not done. We could find out easily. Come up and we'll have a conversation. I won't be mean to you because you seem like you really care and want to know. I don't get rude and crude with folks who really care and want to know. It's when they refuse to know what's quite obvious that I'm putting forth in front of their face in so many words. It's when they refuse to know. That's when I have a problem. Okay? So feeble as it may be, it's better than doing that. I don't see my life or anyone else's life like that as feeble. That's a choice you make, and then I'll call it as that if I see it. The masses live like that. Feeble, lukewarm, mediocre, obscure lives where fear runs their whole existence from cradle to grave. I don't live like that. Many other folks don't live like that. Folks who don't live like that are bound to be successful because all they have to do is envision a way or the way and push past their fears every time. Very simple, very difficult, it would seem. Optics are high.
This going on, and you hear reports like this from whistleblowers. My question is, will the Biden administration ever start talking about it? Because I think Americans deserve to hear directly from the president about all of these controversies and these crises just piling up on them.
They deserve those answers. And this is the record that Joe Biden will have to run on as he has just recently reannounced his election for president. It's horrifying. It's awful. Awful is too mild a word to describe what happened to these children in the hands of the cartel members, in the hands of the traffickers, what it takes to get to this country, that one happens to them once they're literally just dumped off on the side of the United States and then delivered by these nonprofit NGOs to individuals who would not pass the normal kind of background checks that you would have for a typical child protective services type foster.
The being is now saying down there, he does what he does with little effect. You're not doing what you do for the effects. The effects come or they don't. Okay? Effects and results aren't always an indicator of success. One of the biggest indicators of success is, do you feel successful inside yourself? Are you doing what you need to be doing for yourself, your family, your community on all levels? If you're doing that, surrender the effects. You're not here to change the world. You're here to change yourself, and that should be enough to change the world. If you do it, then everyone in the world could see that you can do it, know they can do it, and they'll do it or not. So, yeah, you do it for yourself, right? You do it because it feels better than not doing it, because it's the right thing to do for you. Sometimes a man has to do what he has to do. That's it. So you can sit back and say, at least I've been a man, more than a man than maybe I've been shown by most, including my own leaders and my own parents and my own family. This is what it's supposed to be about. It's an internal space of knowingness and achievement and understanding and succession. And you do it for yourself first, and then the effects come or they don't on the outside. You just have to make sure it's true and correct and not a projection of a false self or aspect of self, if that makes sense.
Foster care relationship. I think the states need to step in, need to take control of these children and really make sure that where these nearly 750,000 children have been deposited into our country, we do our humanitarian duty to take care of them and to make sure that they are not abused and exploited.
The Biden administration has reportedly been unable to make contact with 85,000 of these children. Think about
well, and that's like low numbers. Are we not into the fact? Do we not know by now that the highest level of child trafficking, as I'm told, goes on Washington, D.C.? Washington, D.C., do you think it's a coincidence? Like, beats every other place by far. So what else goes on with Washington, D.C., right? All your misleaders who are owned and controlled by a spiritual avatar, it would seem. Whatever you want to call it, to be a demonic form of self-consciousness, a state of, how about that? A state of demonic bondage from the trauma-based mind and heart, fear-run cult of more and more and more, bigger and better, until it gets so twisted and corrupt you lose yourself in doing horrible, abhorrent acts to the most innocent, right? So, yeah, 85,000 they lost contact with? No. It's called The Truck is on its way to be delivered. Have you ever like watched a damn mafia movie and ever realized what was going on and how they do it everywhere and they're showing it to you? That's how criminal organizations work. A truckload of goods is supposed to be sent and something just kind of happens to it along the way, right? I don't know, maybe the driver has a panic attack because he's in on it, stops the car on the side of the road, somebody takes it, he has no idea who did it or what happened and can't give a description, and guess what? Everybody's in on it, everybody's working along the way, whether they know it or not, one way or the other, and it's all leading toward an event where those goods are going to be trafficked on the black market. So of course 85,000 children just happened to go missing in transit because it was meant to happen, and they're going to now be distributed all around the world to the high class, high level, predatory, successful scum.
Yep, to work as slave workers in their factories and shit, hidden in the secret undergrounds. All planned.
Right. There's nothing new under the sun, and there's no such thing as coincidence unless you believe in mathematically impossible coincidences happening over and over and over again since the beginning of time, which is an impossibility. So, some folks see limitation everywhere and no opportunity. Some folks also see coincidence everywhere instead of cooperation. It's obviously a conspiracy of cooperators, one way or the other, who fulfill a means and an end of trafficking, as they all like to say, we're all doing, breaking traffic code. No, you folks are the god of the underworld, trafficking in the minds and hearts and souls of men and women and children with your indoctrination camps and your poison culture and your sex slavery, sex trafficking. Yeah, we know all of it. It's nothing new. You've been doing it since the beginning of time.
About that for a moment. Meantime, you did mention the president launched his re-election bid yesterday. Here's what he did talk about in his first public remarks after that announcement.
Our economic plan is working. We now have to finish the job, but there's more to do. The threat.
More to do. Gotta finish the job.
Take us to a place we've never been.
More to slave. Gotta finish it, Wizard.
Seniors.
It's not quite done yet. We're gonna get it done.
People on Medicaid lose their health care.
Even if we have to beat it out of them.
Dressed up in MAGA clothing. Only worse.
Build back better.
The beginning part of that statement, he said, it's time to finish the job. Robert, if he does finish the job, can America...
Okay, like seriously, let's get into now right now, like Talcott, Just really look at what's in front of us, step back from it. You're living around a bunch of friends and family who are watching televisions, watching people they don't even know if they exist, on a stage ranting like crazy people about solutions they can't bring that never works out for hundreds and thousands of years. And you're not going to, and then they'll say, I'm looping. If I'm looping about the loop that everyone's living. So yeah, that's when you kind of realize you're in this sort of two world idea of life, walking in two worlds from beginning to end. So I can't believe any of this ever existed to begin with. I can't believe anybody ever fell for any of this shit because I almost never did anywhere. And I can't believe they still fall for it when they're twice my age and intergenerational. Fascinating thing to observe. Please help me out with all the noises, barking, screaming, yelling, crashing, domestic violence, whatever's going on over there. Snafu snaps. If you're going to beat your woman, please put it on mute so I don't have to hear it, because if I hear it, then it's my responsibility to either do something about it directly or report it to the proper slave officials. So please, right.
My sorry, that wasn't me, but I do have the kingdom is having problems in the land of the hills of chat. Just so you know, my sire, there's problems.
Who is rumbling? What are the rumblings in the hills of the chat? No, I'm asking what are the rumblings going on in the hills of the chat?
There's many unregistered running around, and the registered are having problems, and they're trying to take them to the gallows.
Let us patrol the hills, town crier slave. Let us patrol the hills and get these folks under wraps. There we go.
Boy, Snap is on it, huh, Snap?
I was roaming the hills of the land we call chat.
Trisha Bennett, we don't know who or what that is.
You're like a dachshund.
Someone please help her out, but for now, 5 minutes in the chamber. 5 minutes for everyone.
We just want the good people to be in peace.
Right. We just need peace
Right.
here, like the Talcadian one preaches from his kingdom, but he is a false agent of peace. I'm an agent of true peace. And of course, everyone knows in order to get peace, you have to do war. So, Carahans, that doesn't work. 5 minutes in the box for self-reflection. Torchman, same deal. 5 minutes, box, reflection. Grift to show. Sir, I know you just contributed to the kingdom. I know you just contributed to the kingdom, but there's no waivers here, sir. There's no favoritism. 5 minutes in the box, please.
Paul, you put me in the chambers yesterday. It was hilarious. I was cracking up.
Listen, I get it. Everybody wants to be daddy's special boy sometimes, but I can't do that. You can't be a true leader and play favorites. No one will respect you. They have to go and see my father come up and get it worse than everyone else. He goes, why don't you treat me better than everyone else? I'm your daddy. I go, if anything, you're more accountable, right? Because it reflects upon me and my integrity and credibility and reputation.
Out of being a leader of the lemming.
Kitchen, that's why he runs. So we're not playing those games. You're not undoing my reputation, which may take a lifetime to build and be destroyed in seconds. I'm not going to destroy it. You're not going to help destroy it for me.
Guilty by association, huh?
Yeah, right. We don't play that game because I make it clear while I'm associating with everyone where we all stand. So I'm not guilty by association because I'm silent enough to be thought of as somebody who's associated beyond a certain means with the majority of folks who have no real principles.
Exactly.
Let's continue.
America recover?
It's an implicit threat. Finish the job of finishing off America. Joe Biden has announced his reelection effort. So let's talk about his record. Let's talk about during his presidency, we have record high inflation, that we have high energy prices, that we have this border crisis, that we have our international affairs in shambles as the United States relationship with China and Russia is all-time low. We've lost 2 embassies under this presidency. Let's talk about the fact that Joe Biden's cabinet is a disgrace, with the Department of Justice being corrupt and Homeland Security being inept. This is the record we should talk about, the performance of Joe Biden over the last 4 years. And it's going to be a lead weight around the neck of every Democrat running for re-election in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention his speech was yet again divisive. He's constantly using the term MAGA extremist, MAGA Republican, just throwing that out there, gaslighting Americans who may not like Donald Trump. But you got to remember, 50% of America essentially voted for Donald Trump. Meantime, let's turn to this. Dr. Anthony Fauci giving a fascinating interview to the New York Times about the pandemic, saying, quote, show me a school that I shut down and show me a factory that I shut down. I love it. I gave
You
a
dumb
public health
slaves.
recommendation
I'm
that
shutting it
echoed
off.
the CDC.
I don't want to hear it because I agree with him. I agree with him. He's not there to take the responsibility for what men and women chose to do that they had a reason for beyond the reason of truth, because you're not reasonable. So you had a bullshit reason why you chose to do something, and that reason doesn't fly with me or him. So he got you again, pimped and macked on you again, and then you get mad at me for using their tactics when I just tell the truth, right? I just tell the truth. So they'll lie to you. They'll lie to you, get you to choose something, then turn around and go, I don't take no responsibility for none of this because it was your choice. Right. Total accountability, responsibility, and authenticity. So, they're going to give you the inauthenticity, say they thought it was that, they made a mistake, and anything you did along the way when you listened to me, that's your responsibility and accountability. Dumbass, you're a grown man and woman. It gave you your fucking problem and solution. But you're going to keep blaming him for what you fucking did because you can't see reality for yourself. So you need to be led by misleaders known on record. Whose fucking fault and problem is that? Right, exactly. So let's move on. Learn to take responsibility for yourself and what the fuck you create and don't, and we won't have a problem. It would seem to me. Won't be any problems anywhere. Won't need government. Won't be complaining about what the fuck they say that we don't listen to because we didn't need to. Because he said we're accountable and responsible for ourselves and that he's not. Great. So I'm going to do everything the fuck I want and need. And if I don't cause loss, injury, and harm, we got no conversation. Because at the end of the day, I'm responsible for me and making a living and paying my debts and creating a life for myself, not the government or any other form of service provider. which is all they are. Let's move along. Debate sparks over. They got some slave baby boxes. Yeah, they got baby boxes now. If you don't want your little slave, because you can't stop fucking people that you can't connect with truly. So, you can't connect really because you've lost your humanity. So you go to fucking slaves, and then you wind up with a slave baby and you throw it right in the bin. Okay, that's where we're at. So, it's controversial because we got boxes for slave babies that they toss them in and who knows where they go. And who really cares? Am I right? Am I right in this society everyone talks about that's so sophisticated and civilized? Who really gives a fuck about the women and the babies? If they're not yours, right? If it's not your property, who really cares? So let's hear about the baby boxes.
Watching it tonight, it takes us down to Florida with a new debate over a bill that would let fire stations and hospitals install safe haven boxes, like the kinds you see here, for people to put unwanted babies in without interacting with anybody. Some say these
my God.
What a pathetic race.
Oh my God.
Mongrel race that this is.
Oh my God.
Just mechanized at this point. Completely mechanized mongrel race.
Oh my God.
It's a post office box.
This is exactly, they're going to really get this process going at some point. Where like they get to you before that. They're going to create the baby, then they're going to have you put it in a box, and then they're going to decide what happens with it. It's going to get fucked. It's going to get eaten. It's going to get turned into some soldier, some super soldier with a chip in its brain. Yeah, this is where you're at. You bunch of mongoloid slaves, mechanized corporate slaves. You're part of a bigger system and program.
Wow.
Drop the baby in the mechanized box. They should have put you in a box.
Microwave.
There,
it looks like a microwave.
Yeah, no. Someone should have dropped you in that box. They could have turned you into a good government agent. Maybe that's what they did do. Maybe they did put you in the baby box, and that's why you're here destroying my broadcast. All right? I'm speaking, and I'm a little bit upset about the baby box. So just let me finish. Let me just get it all out, Let me just really call out everything and just demean everyone who's involved in all this sick culture and society so I can feel better about myself and my purpose, right? Like they say, I'm a cult leader. I'm egoic sometimes. I need validation. Okay, so I'm sick of these people and what they create. I'm even more sick of the slaves and how they just follow along and join all of it and then turn around and go, people like Paulie need to be shut up and killed, right? And put in a box or censored. Yeah, Ian will drop his baby off at a box. And I'll be the cult leader bad guy.
Controlled infant safety devices allow mothers to surrender a baby without human interaction. Monica Kelsey founded the organization that makes the boxes already found in 10 different states.
When a mother walks up to the baby box and opens the door, an immediate 911 call goes out. When she places the newborn inside, a second alarm is tripped. When she shuts the door actually locks. So the baby can only be retrieved from the inside of the fire.
Oh, yeah.
Under the current
the baby can only be retrieved by the loving, caring, open arms of a fascist black uniform policy enforcement agent. This is like really where we're at. Okay.
The optics are high.
They don't even, the optics are fucking high. We get it. It's beyond optics high. It's called pure slavery and genocide. Okay. So not even a baby box attached to a hospital with, those people are so great over there as well. Of course, all of them, right? Every one of them, angel with wings, right? Every one of them. Don't even say anything bad, but no, not even those people. We get to give them to policy enforcement in their little costumes is who picked up the baby, right? So that's their way of telling you without telling you, oh, the baby box is going to be attached to your local policy enforcement fascist hub. So we can give it a number and its own likeness and then turn it over to the courts. And then they'll use it, maintain it, upkeep it in one of their various institutions and facilities.
Oh, God. Safe haven law. Mothers can surrender infants at fire stations and hospitals by handing the infant to a trained professional who can provide resources.
It allows a mother to surrender her baby 7 days old or less to a hospital or fire station.
They might just kill it.
Surrender.
Kill it. That might be one of those.
Surrender it. Surrender it.
Finding a safe place for mothers who need to give up their child is growing more urgent. with North Dakota and Florida the latest states to pass restrictive abortion laws after the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade. Joel Gordon from Safe Haven for Newborns says over the years, the organization has helped more than 6,000 mothers, yet they oppose the baby boxes.
The baby box idea creates a level of distress for that new mother. There's no contact. The baby could be sick. The baby could be abused. The baby could be trafficked.
Wonder how many dead babies
Monica
were put
argues
there.
existing devices around the country have already saved 28 newborns.
I'm not telling every
100%
woman
right.
to utilize our baby box. That's the last thing I want. But what I want is these babies that are being left in dumpsters and trash cans to have a safe place to fall.
Ultimately, the proposed change would allow mothers to decide.
A safe place to fall.
For them to face that. So if they want to keep them anonymous, I think it's a good thing or a good way to do it.
Notice it says Merge America, not Trump.
Department, I
The
think should be a
shop.
little bit different, more in person. Maybe give it to a person, to baby. You know, it's not like an object. I feel.
With the law changing in Florida, when
Yes,
comes
it is.
to,
It's government
abortion,
property, dummy.
What do you expect will happen in the state of Florida?
You know, we've never had a time in our history where abortion was
That's a
not
man.
readily available.
That's not a woman. That's a
Safe haven
man.
law was.
That's a
So I
man,
don't really think
baby.
any of us know
That's a
what's going to happen.
man.
Quad Venegas is joining us now
That's a
live from Miami.
man.
Have any of these boxes been installed anywhere in Florida, Quad, or what's the status of this?
Optics.
Hallie, Monica told us there is one box in Florida in Ocala. She says that was installed after the mayor himself petitioned the box.
Look at
She
this
also
guy.
told us that
Look
a
at this
baby
guy.
has been delivered at the
Guad.
box. So she's
Didn't
very
you see
glad
it,
that it's been
Guad?
installed. And she's also in conversations with 4 different locations who plan to install a box. In fact, one of those locations, she says she's already decided to move forward. She also made it clear that this law that is going through the Florida legislature would help fire stations and hospitals, would essentially facilitate for them to have these boxes. But the current law does not keep her from installing the boxes. So she does plan to move forward with helping any locations that want one of these baby boxes, Hallie.
God, how sick.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking
And
news
that's
by
just a
downloading
minor
the NBC.
thing, really, compared to
Yes.
the real shit going on.
I agree. Yeah, no question.
All right. Well,
Yep.
your thoughts on any of that? I'm going to put the link down there again. We'll see if
Sure.
we'll add some new flair to the panel.
They're desensitizing the B system, acceptance of
Absolutely.
it's like, like we think of strip clubs, hooker clubs, sooner or later we're
Uh-huh.
gonna have pedo
Yeah.
clubs, and that will be accepted and okay, and that's why they show these elites doing the things in front of you and no arrest, no, and
That's what the TV was made for, to
Yep.
desensitize you, brother. For 50, 60 years. They make sure you have a TV in every house.
100%
Yep.
propaganda used, just like
That's
Korea
right.
and other countries use it. America uses
Yep.
it more than anyone.
Absolutely.
And they're just
Anyway.
desensitizing us to what's about to befall, because yeah, it's real shit.
Snappy, are you in California?
No, Arizona, Colorado,
Oh,
New
okay.
Mexico, West Coast, Arizona right
Oh,
now.
I got you. Okay, just wondering.
All right, let me get the rest of this out of the way. We got alleged Haitian gang members killed, burned in public. Let's watch it together, see what they say.
Another.
And welcome to the Factor Uncensored, mind-blowing story out of Haiti tonight. Tensions between suspected gang members and everyday citizens of Haiti have reached a critical boiling point. Police in Port-au-Prince say at least 10 of those gang members, and now we're hearing more than a dozen of those gang members were killed by people living in the area. And get this, those gang members were beaten, burned alive in the streets on Monday. This comes after days of fighting between alleged gang members and security agents. Gangs have been growing since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021. They controlled an estimated 80% of Port-au-Prince area. Joining me to talk about this here on The Factor Uncensored tonight, co-founder and president of Houston Haitians United, Sledge Leonidas, and a member of the group, Shirley Leno. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. It's just mind-blowing. And what we didn't say there was it began Monday morning when the gangs were going door to door, according to reports, trying to take advantage of the citizens there. And then the citizens turned the tables once the police were brought in. Your thoughts on this, Shirley?
Well, first off, thank you, Isaiah, for having us on the show. It's always a pleasure to be here. I will say that given the dynamics of the country of Haiti and the conditions, being that President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated, the current conditions of our country is in turmoil. And let's be realistic here. President Jovenel Moïse, before his assassination, he was trying to push the referendum. And part of the referendum was to allow military and civic service for government protection for the people. Now, being that that is not in place, now you have a situation where the community is exposed. There's no type of protection. I know currently the Prime Minister.
All right, so we see where this is going. I'm not going to belabor the point. If you don't see, it's pretty clear. Sudan, now Haiti, all over, strife, discord, discontent, no law, and no demo crazy. So we're just starting the rallying call now. Something's got to be done. And you know what that means? A couple more wars around the world we're going to have to get into to spread some demo crazy for safety, of course, for the good people. So, you know, get the supplies ready because I got a feeling we're going to be going to Sudan. I think we're already dealing with Sudan now, and we'll be dealing with these folks as well. All right. One more news. Breaking slave news. Slave climbed a tower holding a Free Billie Eilish sign. So this is where we're at. This is probably one of your friends or family. You don't have to say if it is. I understand why. But very good chance someone's friends or family out there just climbed the sign to hold a sign that says Free Billie Eilish for some reason. So let's hear about that.
There that a man has climbed the KTLA radio tower. This is in Hollywood, and we know that crews have responded to the scene in hopes to bring that man down. Here's what we know so far. KTLA, you might know, is a television and local news station there in the Los Angeles area. And from that video that you see there, the man is holding a sign that appears to say Free Billie Eilish. And he also looks like he is playing a guitar. Now, this is video from Sky Fox team over at Fox 11 Los Angeles. And just for some context here, the tower is about 162 feet tall. It's on Sunset Boulevard in the heart of Hollywood. And Sunset, at last check, is closed while authorities work to bring that man down. And as they respond to this incident here in Hollywood at KTLA Studios.
All right, so just another, you know, disturbed slave who had to get his point across and risked his life to fly a sign that said Free Billie Eilish, but probably won't risk it for anything important.
Who is Billie Eilish? I never heard of him.
No idea.
Okay, good. I thought someone same boat.
Just somebody trying to use somebody else's name to get their 15 minutes of fame.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, now that makes sense.
Trisha Bennett, you have to correct your name. That doesn't work, Trisha Bennett. See what they do? Trisha Bennett, cult member number 12, because everyone else did that, right?
No.
Because everyone else did that. No,
Sir Bennett needs to
explain. Shut up, you fat slave. I'm tired of having to yell over everyone. It's my motherfucking broadcast. You want your own, make one. No one will listen. Okay? Thank you. Why do I have to do this every day? Go ahead, Ben. Of course, it doesn't apply to you because you don't do any of this.
Appreciated. I was going to say the Jehovah's Witnesses got there first, so unfortunately that is a non-starter for me with the cult stuff. But I've been watching the Sam Hyde fish tank, and he's got those slaves in line, brother. So time to crack the whip, I think.
Ehrlich Lieberman broke bad last night. Chamber him now. Okay? Tired of these people. Tired of the fake love. Tired of the fake bonding. Tired of the resentment behind the true bonding. So I'm exposing all of it. I'm testing everybody. I'm chambering everybody for 5 minutes, at least, at a time. Cry about it. If you don't like it here, go hang out with Ian and everyone else. Mark Passio is doing a live probably in a couple weeks. Save you from yourself. Larkin Rose is going to release his next video about everyone else is wrong and he's smug and right, and buy another book and another album. Let me not even get into some other names because I'll piss off people like I always do, dropping their names not to star fuck, but to like out them, because I'm tired of the fucking nonsense and hypocrisy and fake ass love and corrupt business dealings. Go ahead, expert panel, and then we got Watson, and then I'm going to check out because I want to keep it to around 2 hours today. It's been a lot.
I just want to say hello, Benton. You're a nice guy. I've been listening to you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you. You as well. Uncle Rick, right?
Yes.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. I'm a fucking asshole, but thanks. I appreciate the kind words.
No, it's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to do that. You're a good guy, man. Easy. Don't knock yourself, man.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I just wanted to pop in real quick and say what's up to Paul here. He's I don't know exactly what's going on, but I'll be interested to see how it comes out. I got to go do stuff in the real world, but I just wanted to support and pop in, sir. So good to see everybody.
Thank you, Ben. Joy Smith, chamber for 5 minutes. I don't care that you're Wizard's companion, as you all say. No favorites. Your cult leader got womped on by a farmer over at OTO. That didn't happen, sir. You're lying. Come on up, Goatfoot. The Freedom Grower didn't womp on me. He embarrassed himself again, like they all do. Thinks he has a point. Thinks he's going to defend his life and lifestyle and rebut mine. Or disprove what I'm seeing and experiencing, and I don't think it's going to happen. I haven't seen it happen, not with the meat eating and not with the rest of it, okay? So I'm not interested in everybody's opinions and them defending their lifestyle simply because their lifestyle is the correct way, even though they can't substantiate it. See, I might say my lifestyle sometimes is the correct way, but I can at least give an objectively logical argument, if not spiritual argument, for why the fuck I'm living that way. It's not because I want and don't want it. Okay. I didn't say yesterday when I went in and watched everybody I was with eat hamburgers that I didn't want to take a bite at one point. That didn't smell good to me. I came up on that. Can I control myself, or does the hamburger control me? Okay. Do I see the purpose in not eating it for me, even if it's just sticking to my commitment? Yes. So I know commitment beyond what you monogamy folks think you know. Okay. Because like they'll say from the beginning of time, if you can control what goes in your mouth and comes out, you can control everything else about your beingness. You folks struggle with both. Okay. And I'm not saying I don't struggle with both in some areas. I like sweets, cookies, and cakes and certain things. So I have to be vigilant and focused to control myself with that. The point is there's no loss, injury, and harm being done to any other being. There's no karmic consequence there. There would only be regret from me not doing as good as I could and accepting less from myself for some form of pleasure rather than purpose. Okay, so Goatfoot Slave, 5 minutes in the chamber for you. I didn't get womped on. If I got womped on, you'd all be watching him and not me. When he does a stream, barely nobody watches. 1, 2, 5 people. I'm not being mean. I'm saying what's happening. Okay? It's not about the numbers per se. So, come on up and tell me directly how I got womped on. Because I didn't see it and I didn't feel it. And if I am getting womped on and I don't know it, I need to know where so I can get me right. I'm not interested in looking like any more of a fool than I've already chosen to look like up here unwillingly, right? So if I'm unwillingly looking like a fool, get me right. If I'm choosing to look like a fool in some ways, well, that's better than unwillingly looking like a fool, which is the majority of folks who think that they've got it right and I've got it wrong, but can't explain it. So I'm going to go to Watson. Go ahead, sir.
Can I just say one thing? You know who passed away today? That was one of my favorite black singers, Harry Belafonte. Did you ever hear of him, Paul? The Calypso guy. Take the midnight come and me want to go home.
The banana.
The banana. So he passed away today, 92. That's all. Just I kind of grew up with him because my mother liked him so much. You know, she played that record at home. We had a old record player, and she wore out that album. I used to have to sit there and listen to it. But now, you know, fucking 50 years later, you know, the guy's 92. God bless him. Anyway, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's getting out of here alive. That's one thing we know.
That's exactly right, man. Yep.
All right, let me get to Watson.
Go ahead.
Stop it. Stop it now. Stop censoring yourself. You guys do it all day long by lying to each other. Do you know how many people I came across this morning who expected this guy, the guy who comes on YouTube and says you're a fucking bitch, you soft motherfucker, the guy who they've watched like this day after day for so long, they wanted him to talk to them different because the shoe fucking fit them. I will not. I don't give a fuck who you are. You need the truth. Like I said, love ain't lies, you dumb motherfucker. They're going to try to get you to deliver it to them the way they want it. The way they want it. This is the way you get it, motherfucker. If I see the flaw in you, I'm going to call you on it. One of these dipshits right now from the event I was at this week, some top-level guy supposedly comes through my funnel. And I answer all quick. Hey, what's up? Hell yeah. He asked me something. I answer back all quick. Hell yeah. And then, well, hey, I got these things to do. I'll get back to you. Nah, you got me on the phone right now. Yes or no? Fuck you mean? You hit me up. I'm ready. You're asking for my help. Why are you not ready? I didn't hit you up. I didn't even know you were hitting me up. But I'm ready. You guys, do not be like that man. Be ready. Stay ready. Already know your move. Already have it played. Okay? And if not, if you really have to go think about it or talk more, then realize you're not fucking ready. So it's a no. That's it. Whenever someone tells me, Wes, let me go consult my wife about the program. I'm like, why? Do you want to be in her position? And they usually laugh.
This is
like,
actually
no, I'm
comedy.
Serious. Do you want to be in her position? No, obviously. I mean, I'm the breadwinner. Okay, well, why are you going to go ask her for her advice if you don't want to be in her position? Why? For what reason? This is what people don't get. You guys don't get it. You should be consulting me and asking me because you want to be in my position. And you need to just start trusting people that you can obviously recreate anything anyone else has done. If I've done it, you can recreate it. That's 100% facts. There's no way you can't do it. The thing is you guys want some unrealistic timeline. Some of my guys will make $3,000 the first month, $3,000 the second month, $50,000 the third, $50,000 the fourth. Some people will come in, make $400,000 the first month. Look at why they did that. Look at why. I mean, I keep posting my numbers of how much I make a day on my Instagram. And people keep going, how? How do you do it? As if they can just figure out how and have it happen right away. It's not how, motherfucker. It's who can do this. Who, not how. Who can do it? I can. Why can I do it? Why? Because I have been on so many platforms and knocked the ball out the fucking park. Every time they put me on a stage, on a podcast, on content, I knock it out the fucking park. I'm going to teach you how to be the who. I'm going to teach you to be who you need to be to knock it out the park, who you need to be to look a certain way, who you need to be to weather the storms of entrepreneurship. weather the storms of life. Do you get it now? It's not how. The how is very simple. The how is a very simple blueprint. If I just gave it to you, you wouldn't be able to do it because you're not the person who can apply it. You're not the person who can do it. We need to make you the man that can do it. You can't be after the result. Self-mastery is your true aim, not the result. We can know the result. We can have the blueprint to get the result. We have to create the man that can apply the blueprint without fail for eternity. Everything you're after that's a real pursuit, you should be in it for life. That's it, from the gate. And then you'll win for sure. But you guys aren't, because you're about the money and the timeline. Like, well, if it doesn't work in this amount of time, then it's not financially correct. No, you didn't come in 100%. So it took longer. You came in at 60 because you're an iffy bitch. And you're like, what if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? And I'm just moving with complete 100% forward motion, all offense towards the goal. So I get there quicker because there's no plan fucking B. Fuck a plan B. If you guys don't see what's wrong with you when you have this type of mindset, then you don't understand shit. There's no way on earth I would write any of my mentors and they would write me back and I would tell them, hold up, let me hit them back later. I wrote them. I would never. I'm in or out. That's it. And if I wrote them, I'm in. Don't be a fucking idiot. Come across right in the right circles. Be someone who's a pleasure to work with. I did an event with Bedros. We had to wire a lot of money for the event.
So true.
Right away, it went through. We had to put up our card for the ads. I gave my card, it never bounced. When we waited for the event, we had a bunch of content pieces to make. I always made my content piece.
Rick, this is why, like, a lot of times folks don't get why they catch static from me. This went from me being in my car just talking to like a broadcast kind of thing and a living, and I take care in that. So it's become my work, my job, and I take it seriously. I don't care if it's picking up garbage or whatever. I don't want to hear people fucking complaining. I don't want to hear people interrupting whatever the process and the flow is. I don't want to hear people piping up about their nonsense life and lifestyle while I'm in the middle of my flow picking up garbage or whatever the fuck I'm doing. I know it's confusing because I also want folks here and want to be involved with folks and I want to back and forth. We just can never seem to find the understanding a lot of the time. With some folks it works, a lot of folks it doesn't. You know, it's kind of like governing yourself. With some folks it works, with most folks it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's so true. So true, man.
There's a reason for everything. It's holographic. As within, so without. As above, so below.
Yes. You know, it's amazing. If you listen to him, and if you don't get goosebumps sometimes listening to him, there's something wrong with you. Like, I could sit in the church and listen to these guys talk and never get a goosebump. But when this guy talks, or like when you talk, or when Wizard talks, I get a different sensation than when anyone else talks.
That's the spirit, man. That's what I said about earlier. That's the vibration, the ringing, the electricity. Right. That's why they'll say he's got the juice, because your hair's standing up on end from the electricity. It's an electrical force because it's tapping into the heart to heart. We're going heart to heart with the sound, with the vibration, with the understanding, and that causes an electrical reaction.
Even with this metaverse, it still happens. That's pretty amazing as well. You know, I'm not standing in this guy's presence. I'm not hanging out on the kitchen table with the guy shooting the shit. And, you know, I can see this guy's a monster. He has, to me, he's the total package. He has the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit. He runs his life. Life doesn't run him.
Yeah, but he's not applying it in the most important area.
I agree with that part.
Freedom and principles as men and women on this land.
Yes, that part is losing. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
that's 100%. The most important part. It's not about being ripped and rich and rare as far as being able to govern yourself. If you can govern yourself, you got the most responsibility to stand for what matters.
Right. He's missing. Yeah, I agree. He's missing some parts. Right.
That's why we need to have a conversation. He's going to train me, even though I don't need it, and he's going to tell me that. You know, that's the difference. See, If you watch me and him talk, you'll watch me not do what everyone else does, because I wouldn't even ask him to train me because I know I'm not ready. And if I was ready, I wouldn't need him to train me. I do it my fucking self. So at one point, you know, I was in that flow, working out every day. You know,
but in a lot of ways, he serves a purpose to a lot of people also.
Oh, I'm not saying he doesn't,
Yes.
sir. I wouldn't have him
Yep.
here if he didn't.
Absolutely.
You know?
No. I'm just saying. I
Managing
agree.
time, energy, and attention is the most
Yes.
important skill in life. And then where are you
That's
going to
right.
bring that to? How are you going to apply it?
Apply it. I agree. Right. 100%.
All right, let me get back to it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
When we got to the event, it was 2 days of speaking. I killed it every day. After the event, it took some months to get paid, and I didn't say anything. At the very end, he said, "You were a complete pleasure to work with." And he went through all those things I just said and said how most people do not act that way. They get told to wire the money and they take forever. They put up their card for the ads and it bounces a bunch. They get told to make the content pieces and they don't make them on time. They ask a billion questions about how the event's going to be and da-da-da-da-da, and is it going to do this and is it going to do that? They have no trust in him, which I had complete trust because he's Bedros. He's a monster. And you trust that man because he's had nothing but results. And then the time to get paid, they're just hounding. Where's my portion? Where's my portion? Where's my portion? I have money, so I don't need to be like that. I got work to do. I just went back to work. When I got it, I got it. You guys, be a pleasure to work with, and people will open doors for you. If you're not a pleasure to work with, they tell the other people, this guy's a fucking idiot. Do not let him near you. He is a liability.
So that's true. And now we reveal exactly what I talked about yesterday. They did that with me because I'm not a pleasure to work with for one reason. Not all the other reasons. Ask the jail guards who will call my father, if they do call at all, or somebody extended family. Paulie's respectful. He's polite. He's kind, but he's unwavering in truth. He won't submit. So they'll give a glowing review about my personality and how I'm received, but I just won't cooperate, right? So they did that with me on here because I started calling everybody out on truth, and nobody wants that, even though they call themselves Truther Movement. So I was not a pleasure to work with because most folks on here are grifting, and when you stand on rights, freedom, and principles, you piss everyone off, okay? Because they want to create content, they want to make money, they want to become famous, they want to be the next stars overnight celebrities like Twista, right? And that's not what this is supposed to be about. It could get to that, right? I have a vision of that, but it's not what it's about completely at the core, at the root, right? So they all put the word out, and that's why I say when Chile de Castro reaches out to me, you know, doesn't mean he's not an agent. I don't know who's who ultimately. But if he reaches out still, he's aware that the word's been put out, and he probably likes that. He likes co-creating with someone who's got an edge, who's going to look at the truth and speak about it. Even if he doesn't like it, he's open to it. So that's what it has to be, right? So, yeah, I agree with him. Absolutely. Be a pleasure to work with. Don't be a liability. Be an asset. But the greatest way to make yourself a liability to the corporate process is to stand out and stand up and stand on rights, freedom, and principles. We've seen that over the past few years. If you do that, they're going to make an enemy out of you.
Yep.
They say you ain't a pleasure to work with because you won't cooperate and submit. Yeah, I won't. I serve truth. I don't cooperate and submit to anything else. All right. That's the ancient God, truth. That's what we're supposed to be served. Something outside yourself, objective position. You don't want to do that, right? Because if we do that, then it makes the task we're doing that much easier and the morale is up. If I'm surrounded by motherfuckers who don't care that I know are dishonorable men and women, then it makes the task more difficult to do.
Oh, forget it.
So
Forever.
morale, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, forget it. It's the worst feeling to work around people like that. It's horrible.
Right. So 15 more seconds and then we're done.
Yeah, sure.
He will drain all your energy. Otherwise, if you kill it and you're a great person to work with, they'll say, "Oh, that dude's an asset. He made it very pleasurable. We killed it." Done. What the fuck is the matter with most of you guys? Wake the fuck up. Let's go.
All All right, expert panel. That's it for the breaking news and clips and all the rest of it. I'm going to turn it over if you guys want to talk for a bit. And then I guess we'll wrap it up.
I'm good, Paulie. I'm going to say have a good afternoon or where I am. Great to see you, man. I love you and have a great night.
You as well, Rick. Same sentiments to you as well. I look forward to seeing you as always.
Yep.
I will be back tomorrow. Like I said, we could talk for a bit. If you'd rather go, it's up to you folks at this time. I have to put some folks in the chamber. Trisha Bennett still wants to add cult member on the end. That doesn't work. No one else did that. Not fair. Chamber slave. Harsh but fair. Right. I'm harsh but fair. Absolutely right. But that name doesn't work. So it describes who I am at times. Harsh but fair. And this is harsh but fair. So chamber the slave, please. Moat creature. Drag it into the chamber area. This is my moat creature. It drags slaves into the chamber and then possibly feeds on them. Or at least like bites them. You see he has those fangs. Can we see your fangs, moat creature? Can we see your deadly fangs? No, he's not. There it is. There it is. He's got that. See that thing right there? If that gets into you, it's like a pit bull. It locks in like a key in a lock, and then you can't get him off your leg. So, comply or the moat creature will be turned loose on you, and you will be sorry about that. Your thoughts, Snapu Snaps? Optics are hotter than ever.
Yeah, just every time I watch Wes, man, and I just know how this game works. It makes me think he's watching you, or people. Obviously people are contacting him who watch you. And I just sometimes it's like, man, he's straight up hashing it out with your ass, like, and it's just maybe I'm wrong, but the optics of it, some of the things you've been showing are like, damn. And so I encourage, if you are watching Wes, get your ass up here on this panel and talk, or if the people who are contacting them, maybe encourage that, because I think that'd be interesting to hear you and him hash it out. I have my feelings on both of y'all. Everyone's putting their truth, and sometimes the things he says is like, man, he just watched the last stream you did or some shit, or bounced right off. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it feels like that. It's more likely the way the universe works that we're just talking about the same shit and living the same cycles and loops. And we're the same self, so it just seems like we're all watching each other because we're all living the same life.
RCA.
What up?
How is the kingdom doing you?
Well, they have allowed me, Your Highness Gracious has been quite graceful to let me hang around here. But
how is the kingdom treat? How is the kingdom? How is the rolling hills of Chatland and the kingdom itself and the kingdom itself?
I don't pay attention to Chatland anymore. When I'm up here, I don't really pay attention to them.
You haven't roamed the hills of Chatland?
No.
The land
Well,
of
they're
Chat?
talking. I'm sure they're talking smack, like usual. So
You're in the kingdom though. You go in the hills of the Chatland and talk to smack, RCA.
nah.
And the tribe,
They're
the
not-
choir tribes will probably back you up.
I mean, I didn't change my name, so it's just I'm all bad, I'm stained. I'm marked. I'm a marked man.
You're like Robin Hood or the
Yeah,
thief?
Which
one?
Walking. Dead man walking. Dead man walking.
Squire of the tribe is the cult counselor is shaking his head no.
Yeah, I believe he's the, in a castle, they don't have a sewer. So they need someone to walk the feces and the urine buckets out. And I think RCA is perfectly suited for that.
Okay.
You can
All
handle
right, I can work with that. Yeah, that's cool.
Royal boy.
For the kingdom.
I mean, better than death. You know, I don't want to get raped
Better than
or
death.
something.
One of the
Absolutely.
benefits of that position, RCA, is that, did you know in the royal days that after eating the magic mushrooms, that the royal urine would also be psychedelic, and the lucky piz boy would get to indulge in the same psychedelic experience? That is a fact,
People
by
would be coming to you. You'd be the kingdom healer of hallucinogens.
Imagine
It
the
is
illumination.
important to remember, Tribe, that he is in fact subspecies because he's half Filipino African American boy, and he's half homunculus smoke creature.
Homunculus.
That's why he doesn't have any actual
we
right.
must have mercy, though. He has asked for not death. He has asked to live, you guys. The king and tribe squire, please have mercy upon this young exiled number one. He has asked for life, not death.
His life will not be with number one. His life will be to convey the number two from the castle to the royal sewer.
There you go.
Right.
You accept
Thank
it?
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good of you.
Very gracious of you, Your Highness.
They are very merciless at
And
times.
sirs. And sirs.
They are truly
The
humbled.
smoke creature is not fluent with the king's English. Pardon his great blasphemy.
Damn it, you just pissed
I
off the
apologize.
fucking great one king. Fucking, you were doing so good, exiled number one.
It's the
You must make him laugh like a
hallucinogens.
jester. You must say a
It's
joke
the-
like a jester, make him laugh.
The tainted tongue.
alright.
It's the tainted tongue.
You must now impress the king and the squire and the chamber. You just fucked it up, bro.
Dance, creature.
I don't dance.
It's better
You
than
could
death.
jiggle.
I suggest you learn.
must
I
do
can't think of
something to
nothing right
impress
now.
the kingdom.
I just can't. I can't really think right now.
Shall we
Exiled one.
fetch the lions, your royal sire?
Exiled one, do you know what a thumbs up, thumbs down is? You are in
Quiet the
very
town
dangerous
crier
territory.
slave. The chubby town crier slave is rather chatty tonight. Just a tribal person.
I must survey the chat once again.
It's probably that high fructose corn syrup he's been sipping on.
Yes, I'm looking through here. This is there is the one that must be executed immediately, the goat foot. As we know, a split-toed foot is not holy enough to be in the kingdom. It must be removed now.
Sacrifice the goat.
This creature, yes. Chamber it.
He shall be the scapegoat at this point.
You will bring our incense and dance upon the goat sacrifice. Now, tribe, you have upset the tribe and the king. What you must dance or do something to the kingdom. You had it so well, and so why would you disrespect the kingdom, RCA?
I apologize. I only have 8 months of education. I can barely speak and write. I apologize.
Then you're
It's
definitely not
okay,
Filipino.
homunculus creature. You're doing rather well for your subspecies.
Thank you, sire.
Favoritism is upon you again.
I'm not knowing. You know, you can't hate me for not knowing.
The moncule is not expected to know, just to obey the royal decrees.
You must
Correct,
not disrespect the kingdom.
Quiet, town crier slave, not while I'm speaking.
I do not understand how to obey. You know,
it's quite simple. You do as we say, and if you don't, you cease to exist.
I don't know these words you speak of.
Hold on, let me try some homunculi taming. In the back with you, Cretin.
The monkeloids, they take time, Your Highness.
Please survey the chat area for any incorrect enumerations.
I shall, Your High Sire. I survey the chat so far.
The kingdom seems to be in check.
There is a Brian Heathen. There is a Brian Heathen lingering, tainting our fine kingdom with a pollution of a surname and a forename.
Yes, chamber it immediately.
Roll of beating on the heels of the chat land. There must be peace upon the peasants.
I must relish in the splendid gratitude of seeing such a fine chat, Your Highness.
Thank you, tribal person. My achievements are immeasurable.
The kingdom is very peaceful, sire, and collected.
It
And
is
in one,
important to allow the slaves to believe they've done it all themselves.
This is the essence of true order, Your Highness. You see how well everyone can function now in pleasant submission.
Should we tax the peasants, sir, for the kingdom? In whatever manner you seem fit, sir, sire.
Behead him!
Behead him! Nephew creature. I
Just
think
curious.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
Wizard.
The wild wizard wides again.
It's a Green Lantern.
He's descending into his third childhood, gentlemen. This is very unsightly to witness.
The Green Lantern wizard is upon us.
Taxation, chubby snafu creature, implies any ownership at all. Why would one need taxation when slaves are fit to own nothing and be happy? All property will be turned over to the kingdom of enslavement immediately.
Therefore, we will make sure that happens, sir.
Yes,
I
go
just want to do-
around and collect my belongings that have been misplaced.
They are known as goods to the kingdom. You all have heard it.
You shall shake them upside down till the shekels fall from their pockets. One by one, we will collect any semblance of an ownership of any kind of property is properly me now, or you, sire.
Yes, Mr. Tribal Fellow, please immediately start the sky spraying to allow the slaves to become infinitely more imbecilic in order to achieve our goals. Employ the sky spraying technology immediately.
As you wish, sire.
Yes, Mr. Squire Tribe. And as you're rolling the hills at the land of chat, if you see any of them.
Yes, I have. There is one that is trying to play the game that Donnie Chimp has invented. He must be put to the back chamber immediately or thrown into the moat.
Well, you know, or they may enter the chambers to present their case per se. Aren't we a kingdom of opinions? Should we not let the peasants claim their case? It is an open panel, sirs. Before we chamber them.
The kingdom with only one. Quiet, snafu creature.
As it relates to the term case, etymologically means to fall. So if the slaves want to announce that they have fallen, feel free. Cry all you want.
The Green Lantern Wizard has spoken. Understood.
Your Royal Highness, I have to admit to you that there is a disturbance in the chat. We must act. There's dimensional TWs. There's terrible things going on in our
Chamber
chat.
the slave immediately.
This must be stopped before they start to get ideas. The shekels will be claimed from them, and they will be melted and restruck into the town coin.
The Dorf Googlestein is upon the land of chat, starting issues with the peasants, sir. We must ride out to the hills and deal with Dorf.
The Dorf one. He is setting himself to be an example for the rest. Let him make one more move so we can publicly pillage him and allow the other creatures to indulge in the death of those that try to go against our great leader.
We must immediately curb this inundation of infidels.
We should feast after this.
And I must warn all registrants that this is a mandatory 2-week residency. There is
Will
you,
wizard creature, give your famous "Let every slave of Unslavia kingdom heal"?
Give me a moment, and I will pull that up.
Yes, and may I?
We wish to regale the kingdom with our imagery and vision of the future and destiny of this kingdom.
May I ask our Royal Highness to issue the decree to revise the so-called leash law to be of a royal decree, since there are no longer laws within our great kingdom.
Mr. Tribal Fellow, there you go again, falling for our own games. There never really were laws, Mr. Tribal Person.
It was
merely statutes and codes, sir. Statutes and codes.
It was merely the wordplay from our wise wizard. He did title it that, and I understand it can be confusing to the slaves. I just felt that the proper wording from our high leader would clarify it for those of the low intellect and the monkule origins.
We can push upon the Hooked on Phonics propaganda program upon some people misunderstanding the language upon the kingdom. Just
correct.
To help the kingdom.
I've also made a note.
Now, 1 second, wizard. Mr. Tribal Person, please bring forth a lagoon creature. As my procreation sacks have filled, I must empty them at once.
I must warn you, your Royal Sire Highness, that we must extract all the fungal parasites from the lagoon creature before she can be worthy to be presented to someone of your high stature.
I've explained to use the lining technology with this creature so that she is not defiled any further internally.
We must make sure the chamber's air conditioning is working. Laguna tuna fish do not smell the chambers up. Light the incense and the candles before we let her in the chambers.
I have spoken many times of the lagoon creature's upper orifice being the only one that is to be used.
Indeed, your Royal Highness. However, I should say the excretions that come out of either of them are unintelligible and indifferentiable between the two, so it's hard to tell.
The Tribal Fellow is now making up words. We love when he does this.
Some of us have to clean up the chambers, your sire, and it gets messy with some of these. Laguna tuna can be one of those.
I have to report. There's another goat foot and now an Emilios Mon that must be excommunicated to the chamber.
You must ride upon the land of Chatland and handle the peasants. They're running amok, sire. The peasants keep running amok.
Emilios man, more like chambered man, 5 minutes slave.
A swift slice from the fine steel of your saber should instruct them properly, your sire.
And with that, I now bring you Pepito's Patriot Law. So please pay attention, folks. This is just a gentle reminder that all slaves must heal. Pepito's Patriot Law 50-118 as of November 4th, 2022, 9 Statute 121. in the 50th Session Joint Resolution authorizing and requesting that Pepito proclaim 2022 as the year of the bitch. Leash law. Let every American slave heal. That's H-E-E-L, not H-E-A-L. So get it right, slaves. Whereas all bitches, beta male slaves, adhere to the word of a fictional daddy, have made a unique contribution in shaping the United States as a distinctive and fucked nation of people. Whereas deep beliefs in fiction and convictions springing from the total illiteracy led to the early demise of this nation. Whereas bitches, beta male slaves, teach concepts of government servitude that are contained in their own determinations of the Declaration of Independence, Constitution of the United States, and various other writings based in, on, and for fiction. Whereas many of the best bitches, beta male slaves paid tribute to the indoctrination of the General Education Provisions Act in the development of the American country, as in the words of Pepito, let every American slave heal, the very rock on which your slavery rests. Whereas the history of America clearly illustrates the value of voluntarily applauding the teachings of these fictions and convictions in their lives and all bitches, beta male slaves. Whereas America now faces great challenges that will test these slaves as they have never been tested before. And whereas that renewing their adherence and faith to the word of a fictional daddy to let every American slave heal through more and continuing indoctrination that can save tremendous cost to silver spoon-fed motherfuckers that can't do shit for themselves. Now, therefore, be it resolved by Pepito's daddy of representatives of the United States of America in the field assembly that Pepito's daddy is authorized and requested to designate and to proclaim 2022 as the year of the bitch in recognition of both the formative influence and the bitches, beta male slaves that has been for America and their need to study and apply the teachings of bitches, beta male slaves. Approved this November 4th, 2022. Signed by me. Cult member number 1, Green One. Thank you.
Wonderful,
Bravo.
Mr. Wizard.
Wonderful, bravo.
Elder Wizard Creature has done it again.
Bravo.
Regaling the kingdom with new edicts and laws. We will bring all slaves to heel. Resistance is futile.
You have pleased the kingdom, Mr. Green Lantern One.
And the more people, more slaves that vote for Pepito's law, the more slaves will find their lives all that much better.
Your sire, where has the Roman emissary gone? I have not seen him for some time, and I missed the accent.
And speaking of the Roman emissary, I am off on the road to myself to go seek and see if I can find that fuck.
Mr. Tribal Person, it is my understanding that the chambers of the Talcadian One should be checked for this teenage Roman messenger boy you speak of.
I will search right now. I still see the annoying goat foot. Must be thrown to the moat.
Disgusting goat creature. Heal.
Goat, please come to the chambers, Goat, and present your issues with the kingdom. They are merciless, but merciful at the same time.
The split hood creature must be led to the moat this time. I don't believe the back has done well for him. Yes. The chat is looking splendid, Your Royal Highness.
Have we seen enough gay ass shit?
The land of chat is peaceful. The kingdom is here, and the king is happy. The people are happy.